Okay, now you guys are all laughing. All right, you can unmute yourselves if you have comments. Okay, so before Chris, oh, he just joined. All right, so do I need to unmute him? Can you unmute yourself? So before he says something though, I just want to say two things, I think. So life is all about belief, right? It's called the placebo effect or the nocebo effect. Placebo is when you think something positive is going to happen. Nocebo is when you think something negative is going to happen. That's the effect. But it's like, has everyone heard of the placebo effect? Has anyone not heard of the placebo effect? I think everyone has heard of it, right? So if you believe that this pill that you're taking is going to make you feel better, then statistically, it does actually help you feel better. When drugs come on the market, like blood pressure, cholesterol, all those drugs come on the market, it actually has a better effect the first 2 years than it does later because of the fact that people believe it's going to help them. But after a while, if it doesn't actually help them, the effect wears off, right? But if you believe that Corona is the end of the world, then your actions are going to more dictate that. I'm not saying that Corona is not real. It is very much real. I get that you can't see it. It's a virus, bacteria, whatever it is, you know? But if you believe that it's the end of the world, if you believe it's going to have a negative impact on your family and your finances, if you believe all of these things that people aren't going to buy insurance because of Corona, then that's more likely what's going to happen, right? But if you believe that people are going to use this to get a handle on their finances, to do the things that they think that they should do, if you believe that people are going to buy insurance because they're like, oh, this is serious now, right? Then that is more what's going to happen, and that's more what our brains are going to focus on, right? Can you trick yourself into having your own placebo effect? That would be kind of cool, right? And studies and psychology and science would say that you can very much trick yourself into doing this. So I'm going to stop talking because Chris is on the call now. And if I can introduce him and Courtney real quickly. So yeah, I was teasing him a little bit before the call, but he is somebody that we remember seeing walk across stage all the freaking time and was always just so fired up. Mr. had to take an anxiety pill or something, or was afraid to talk in public. For those of you who know Chris Long, do you know this about him, that he couldn't talk in front of people if there were more than 2 or 3? And people are like, but he's Chris Long. I know, right? We've all got our own issues to deal with and things that we overcome. And he has just been taking off, like he's always been a pioneer, always like just so good at not just doing the sales, but also teaching it, which is a rare combination, right? Sometimes there's a lot of people who can do it, but they can't teach it. Sometimes there are people who can teach it, but can't do it, right? But he has always been really good at both. We remember seeing them and being like, they're not going to want to hang out with us, but maybe we can stop them and ask them questions. Yeah.
No, don't.
Hey, don't say that in front of them. But if you don't mind taking a little bit of time to say kind of the things that you've been learning, the things that have been working and not working, just stuff like that, because I think it will help to spur us to the next level. Use this as innovation, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I hope I can contribute something that'll help everybody. And I see Sydney on the call here too. She's been a big help, sort of helping me pioneer and sort of the document stuff. In fact, Sydney, I developed an intake form I need to shoot to you based off of what you sent, but it's it looks like this. It's like a single page. And so it's good for both the Nassau Re product as well as the Mutual of Omaha. So this is just one more area like we're all kind of sharing. It's interesting, Jane, and I'm joking with Jane. Jane is actually one of my favorite evil people in the world. No, she's not evil. She's actually one of my favorite people. We joke a lot, but she's very much like a very close sister to me. And it's an honor just chatting with you guys. I mean, I don't take it lightly when I'm asked to talk to another team. We have had some success, and I think it's just because one of the things that the Alliance has taught me is how to fail really fast. And I think I just did that. I sort of embraced that concept when I got started with these whole Facebook leads. And I went, I bought a batch. The first time I bought a batch was right before coronavirus was really kind of hitting. and I was still like just booking them and going and seeing people. And I made like 2 or 3 sales in home using Facebook leads. So there's that. But then, you know, the whole world shut down and everybody started freaking out and that kind of thing. And so, you know, it's interesting because it's not the good times that will define you and your success. It's how you face adversity. And so when we saw this, I was like, this is our time to shine. And so I just knew it was going to take a lot of failing forward, if you will. And so what I did is once I kind of got the idea that like I saw Paul, we had Paul on our call at a hotspot, and he was like the very, very, very first person to really kind of start doing this. And I mean, we took a lot from what he said. There was some stuff that Alan over in Hawaii, they did a conference call. Did you see that YouTube video that was on Alex Avian's thing? Jane, I don't know if you did, but Alan, trying to think of his last name. It's a Hawaiian name. So you probably know who I'm talking about.
Kitamura.
That's it. And so we took a lot of what he was saying and we sort of integrated it. And the first thing that I did though, is I spent like 400, I was like, oh, we can get it for $10. I'll spend 450 bucks. I'm like, I'm going to kill this. I booked like 22 appointments and of Facebook, I say it made 4 sales, but one of those sales was a referral. 2 of those sales were DML leads and only 1 was a Facebook lead. And the mistake that I made is I booked the appointment and I was booking them for the next day, which was really bad. These leads seem to perform well if you get them on the phone and you follow that new script that I think everybody's familiar with the script, right, Jen? You posted that out that we kind of keep updating and stuff. And I just recently modified it yesterday to include like how to modify it for DML scripts and, you know, that and mortgage protection too. It's the same thing. I think it's just the idea of selling over the phone. So one of the biggest lessons, and I've got a couple of them I want to kind of share with you. And I'm still new and I'm still figuring all this stuff out. You know, so I'm taking notes as much as I'm sharing. It's been interesting the amount of just people cross lines talking and sharing new information of what's working, what's not, and it's the weirdest thing. We're locked down, but we're communicating more as a company than I think we ever have. In like the 12 years that I've been here, I've never talked to my cross-line running buddies as much as I have over this last week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's daily and it's neat. And I'm talking to Albright more and we're having more virtual conference calls. So it's kind of an interesting thing just as an aside to just like see how this is impacting our company as a whole. But I think it's giving us an opportunity to really shine. And so here's the lessons learned. And there's I mean, it's funny. I spent a lot of money, a lot of time trying to figure this out, but what I'm getting ready to tell you won't take me a long time. It's because this is like intellectual property. Like you spend a lot of time figuring it out, but once you know it, it's just like, oh, that's all you do. But it's just like getting to that point where it's like, oh, that's all you do. There's a lot invested in that. So as much as this is going to be kind of quick, don't take it lightly because there's been a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and all kinds of stuff that have gone into like these lessons. But these are the lessons that I've learned that's going to be working. Rule number 1, don't book these. I think everybody's kind of heard that by now. So you do not book these. And so what you do instead is when you get them on the phone, like you call them. And let me back up because I have a new lesson that I kind of learned yesterday. So yesterday was my first really big day of like, I guess, Facebook only sales, like without any DMLs or nothing. And so I happen to be licensed and like, I live on the border. So I have a license in like another state and it happens to kind of branch over into another time zone. And so I was able to work like a little bit later. So I did some recruiting in the morning and like I hired 2 people. I got 1 contract, 1 in class, watched the TWC. During the TWC, I placed my order for the Facebook leads. And so they started, because I opened up another state and I do have, well, Jan, I'll share something with you offline because I need you to properly disseminate it from John. But he gave me some good information about people who are maybe potentially interested in getting their out-of-state license. But I would encourage everybody to really, especially if you're new, work your current state because you're already licensed there. There's no need to spend extra money right now. Spend your money on leads and work your local state. That said, if you've got some people, I've got a list where John's like, if they want to get licensed, this is the places because he can just dump them immediately to us. So I've got that list. I was talking to John at 4 a.m. in the morning last night. So I've been working crazy, but I've never been so invigorated, it seems like. All right, so here's the thing. Before you call them now, what I'm doing is I put this on band. I don't know if some of you guys saw it, Jan. I put it on the AM chat as well, so feel free to share that with your team. I've made a virtual business card. Now, I don't think the magic is in my virtual business card. I think the magic is I send them that, and I also send them this little text, and I left my phone in my car. So, Jane, do you have what I posted on? Can you read like the message underneath the card, because
Yeah.
I think even if you just took a picture of your own license, your own state license, your own business card, and then you send this message, I think this is what the magic is. But read that message and I'll explain.
Yep, and I'll post it. But it says, "Hi, I'm about to call you regarding your request to qualify for the state-regulated final expense program."
Okay, so simple. And there's that word qualify again. That, I'm telling you, Lou Abadi tripped on something there when he kind of said that, because we're so used to saying, trying to get you the information. When we do that, we're seeding their mind and their subconscious with, I just want information. But if we just simply change the word to see if you could qualify, we're seeding their subconscious with, yeah, I want to qualify. And it sets up the rest of the call. And so it's one of those tiny, tiny, tiny little word changes that, man, I think, like, because I screwed up yesterday and I said information, I corrected myself, and her tone changed when I did. And it was just like, oh my God, this is this. So that qualify, so I'm using it appropriately everywhere I can. So I'm sending them that. I give it about 15 seconds and then I call. And so when I call these people, you know, I'm opening up. So, you know, ring, ring. Jane, this is for you. Ring, ring.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Jane.
Yeah,
Hey, this is Chris. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Did you get the text message I just sent you?
Yes.
Did
Yeah,
you?
I did. Uh-huh.
So, yeah, okay, perfect. I didn't know if you had enough time to open it. I see here you're just on Facebook. Looks like you're trying to qualify for one of the state regulated programs there in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my opening. But it's crazy because people are telling me like, yeah, I just got your text, and they're answering the phone. And so here's the thing, because one of the problems I was having with my Facebook leads, this is another lesson learned from our first batch of 45, is even though I did book 22, I had a lot that I couldn't get a hold of. I only worked 15 leads yesterday. I had 30 come in just a few hours. So I've got 15 today that I haven't touched yet. And I have a sneaky suspicion using this technique, Jane, I think it's going to be okay that I'm calling a day later. Because
Yeah.
I've been watching videos on like what, you know, because we're switching to this world, you know, telesales. So I've been like trying to pick up just from the internet and just like people that are successful on it. And I did notice one of the things, there are like a lot of people. In fact, one of the ideas came from a news thing I was watching, like, I guess robo dialers for vacations and everything, they prey on seniors. And like, it was so funny, this news article was a video. This lady's like, and she has like a pan, and she puts the pan over the phone and starts beating it with a wooden spoon on this RoboForm telemarketer. But it just goes to show you how desensitized they are from just constant numbers coming in. And I've even noticed that a lot of people have just blocked any number that's not in their contact. And so this text message seems to make it through that veil, and then they see that call, and then they answer. And so like everybody's freaking out about this like little virtual card I made. It's, you know, I'm an IT geek and I like it is nice because you can click on it. It takes you my state credentials and stuff. But I don't think that's the magic. I think the magic is texting them something. Like you can use that message in a picture of whatever right before you call. And here's something else. I did that for one of them last night, and they didn't answer, which was fine. And I was in the middle of making dials, and then I get a text back that said, okay. I stopped what I was doing. I called her back. I made 2 sales in that home. I mean, so it's interesting. Like it's working on multiple levels. One, I think it's helping me get people to pick the phone up. And y'all are the first group to hear this training. So Jane, this is huge. I mean, I don't know what you owe me for this, but it is big.
I saw the post and I was like, I'm calling Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris
I'm also getting people to call back. All right, Paul, please.
Quick question: are you still triple dialing the leads? Or are you calling them once, or what's your strategy with that?
I'm doing text and then doing a double dial, and then I move on.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with triple dial. Sometimes I'm triple dialing them, but I feel like with these, I mean, I did that a lot and I got no result. But I'm getting a result with this text thing and then just dial. I'm getting a lot of people though, Paul, on the second dial.
Okay.
So they're either going to pick up on the first or they'll pick up on the second, but I feel like they'll pick up on the third. I haven't had really almost any success on the third dial on these leads. So
okay,
just my observation.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's you guys have no idea how much he was like sort of the inspiration to kind of get all this going. But Paul was one of the early pioneers, as Jane was calling me, because we've just all. I feel like we're in like one of those baton races, Paul, where it's like you ran the first lap and then you handed the baton over to Alan, and and I grabbed it from, so it's just like we're all kind of feeding off each other. And so I love that. So I just happen to be the guy with the baton right now, I think.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
So yeah, so and then when I get them on the phone, I am, and this idea came from Sydney Bailick, who's on y'all's team. I'm able to move a lot quicker by using an intake form. And then, like I had one, I'll give you an instance. So what this allows me to do, instead of waiting on my computer to spin and the website being slow, I can move very quickly by writing down their information. And what we've done is we've basically consolidated all the pertinent questions. Because, I mean, let's, so this is it. It's like I got tobacco, and I'll share this with you, Jane. So, I mean, no need to like try to snapshot the screen or anything. I've already given it to Alex Avia. And so I've got tobacco, I've got their coverage amount, what they want. And it's just like all this stuff I'm going to need to fill out the form. And then, so I'll give you an example. One yesterday, I said, okay, I think I have everything I need to input this in. And this is after I had her social and her banking account information, right? And so once I had that, I feel pretty good about it. And so, okay, let's see, we'll put it after the call. There we go. Thanks, Jane. All right, and so when I take this, I said, what I'll do, because this one happened to be a Moo Living Promise, and there's a two-part signature. You got to do the HIPAA first, and then you got to do the signature last. And so I said, I said, Mutual of Omaha, it's a two-part process. So what I'm going to do when I get to that part, I'll call you back after I email this, and I'll walk you through it. And we did. Oh, there you go. Sweet. All right, cool.
Wow, fancy.
Let's see, where did this one come from? Oh, this must be, this is where I got the idea. This is Sydney's. So yeah,
I'm trying to put it in the
it's
chat
gonna
for you.
look a lot like Sydney's. I wanted something I could just have on one sheet of paper, so I just made 2 columns is all. But I think it's gonna be like, and hers is a little more comprehensive, like link the company and stuff like that. That's gonna be good for like your term products. I'm pretty much exclusively selling some of the final expense right now, but if I did, like, so hers is very good. I mean, it's everything, and she's one. I don't even want to take credit for it. I mean, I kind of made it. Honestly, you know why I did it? And I don't know. I didn't even check my WhatsApp. I was up. I was here at the office till 10, and I was just solid booking on the phone, or solid talking on the phones. I asked Sydney at one point. I was like, "Hey, can you send me that?" And I don't know if you ever saw it or not, but I didn't see you get back to me, so I made this. But thanks. I mean, I've got it because I could not find it. There's so much stuff going on in the AM chat right now. I couldn't get back to where you had posted. I was like, screw it, I'll just make one.
I sent it back to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, thanks. All right, well, I appreciate it. So yeah, and that's perfect. And so once I have that, so like these are all the little things. So the big rules are: don't book them, sell them, send them a text of some sort before you call them to let you know that you're going to be calling them, and then call them, and then just basically do. Like, don't forget your in-home skills, because once you get past the first couple parts, this is basically the same sale. It's a little abbreviated, it's a little quicker. So, you basically have your intro, which is kind of what I was doing with Jane a second ago. And then I feel like there's this part where we set the expectation. Like, so once I talk to Jane, and I will usually laugh, I'll talk about their hobby and or both, their their why. Like when you were filling this out, like Jane, were you thinking about your kids, grandkids? Do you have a spouse? What was kind of on your mind that you, like somebody that you want to, and I'll say this too, this is something else I've been using, somebody that you want to receive the money when you die to help, like who would handle your funeral. And we have to name a person. It can't be an estate. Even though that's like a totally bogus type thing, it just sort of makes it more official when I get them thinking about a person. I say most people choose like a close relative. And sometimes I'll say, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll use the insurable interest, but that one I was just off my game when I had to use the insurable interest one. But that's how I'm kind of open it up, and then we talk about it, and we'll get them laughing. So once I'm done with that, and I find out their why, I edify them for that, just like we do inside the home. And then I ask the medical questions, and that's a lot of times I've kind of already started doing that. But a big thing is set the expectation. So here's the order, because I know I'm a little ADHD. So it goes intro. You got to figure out their hobby and their why. Set the expectation, which my expectation is, okay, Jane, this is how this process works. People like it when you sort of explain how this process works. It's like that page in the ATM. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Like I'm getting them to buy into my process. And so I'm going to ask you a couple medical questions, and I've already asked you a couple. I said, once we're done with that, we're going to find a program that I think, will like fit your need, but honestly, most importantly, fit your budget. And if we, once we find that, we'll submit an online application. The company, if you get approved, will mail you a package. You're going to have 30 days to review that. The state of X gives you 30 days to review that. And during that time, if everything looks good, don't do anything, because what they're going to do is they're going to, when you get approved, and I pause there, I said they're going to draft your first premium and they're going to hold it during your 30-day review. They said if everything looks good and there's no errors on the application, they're just going to use that as your first month's premium, and then you're all set. You don't have to do anything else. If you find any errors on it, or you're confused by something, just call me back and we have that 30 days to adjust whatever we need to. Try not to say cancellation so much, right? I got in trouble from that from Noel and Gina Hawks. They were all over me. So it's like, okay, I won't do it. So, and then I say, I asked them, I said, do you have any questions, and are you comfortable with that process? And they say yes. I said, okay. And from there, it's just basically your in-home presentation, and that's it. Paul, does that make sense, buddy? You're like one of the in-home gurus.
Yeah. So I guess my question would be, are you having a lot of pushback when you go through that process with them, or are you getting?
Not really.
Pretty good.
No, it's been pretty good. Like I feel like as long as I get to that part of it, like the people that I've been talking to, like, no, that's fine. Don't get me wrong. I talked to, here's my numbers from yesterday. I worked 15 leads. I had 5 no sales. So either I got to their banking, and they just said, I'm not comfortable. I had one guy, I'll have to share with you personally what he yelled. It was hilarious. I'm on effing lockdown. Who the hell is it? Click. I was like, oh my God, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I had one of those crazy ones, but so 5 of those, because I closed 4 for 6 apps yesterday for 2,500 and something, right? So not crazy numbers, but 2 days in a row, that's a $5,000 a week, which isn't shabby, right?
Right.
And it was just, and I didn't use any gas. I sat here at my desk. It was crazy. And so, so I had more people tell me no, either through banking or whatever, but I had 4 that said yes. And I tend to focus on, I've learned to focus on the 4. And I didn't, but it's cool. I wanted to post that because people need to know that, even though I'm having success, I'm having a lot of failure over here, but it doesn't matter because we don't need that many yeses to really have a good week. And so I've got another 15 to go, but I thought the numbers were pretty decent. I had 15, so 5 said no, 4 said yes for 6 apps. That's 9. And I had 2 that did want to, like, that postponed like a schedule because they had somebody in their home right there. They did want to talk. It was like, I will rebook it if the choice is they're going to hang up or rebook, I will, but I'm still waiting for that right now. So Jane, that's about as much brain as I have in this right now. I don't as much as I could. So I hope this helps, and I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone have questions? You can unmute yourselves, or you can text me, or you can post it on band for us to ask Mr. Chris Long.
You recording this?
Yes. Of
course you are.
Of course I am.
This might be a good little segment if you can, clip it out, or if you want to send me the MP4 through Google.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Mm-hmm. You guys have no questions? I feel like as soon as we end this call, you guys are all going to call me and ask me questions. So you better ask Chris.
They're going to text me individually. When I posted that thing on band, all of a sudden I became like the most popular person. Like, it's like.
Did you tell Courtney?
Yeah, she's having a ball with it. She goes, "Excuse me, Mr. Important, can I have your time?"
Sydney is raising her hand so patiently.
100% want to help her. She's been a big help for me.
Appreciate it. So something I was wondering about starting to implement is some form of the ERS at the end of the call, but probably not going to be able to get 10 like how we would in a home. So have you tried that at all, getting referrals, even maybe asking for like 3?
No, but what I'm going to do, and I got this idea from Lou, I'm going to follow up. Like, I actually like the idea of just, especially just with reestablish rapport, I'm going to, when they get it. And so when I do that follow-up call, that's when I'm going to kind of approach that. I'm kind of just, I want to get the sale done. And honestly, with as many, like as fast as they come down, I'm trying to work them while they're fresh. But I think we have an opportunity to really make a second call. Hey, did you get your policy? Do you have any questions? Does everything look good? And then we can introduce all kinds of stuff, HMA, we can ask annuity questions, ERS. And so the one thing I'm not doing, I need to, and I'll try this today. He's actually prepping them and saying, listen, in about 4 days, I'm going to give you a call back to see if you have any questions or if you've gotten any correspondence from the insurance company. And so when he calls them back, that's when he's planning on doing that. So I think that's going to be kind of our window. Hope that helps.
Hey, I have been getting the ERS at the end of the appointments. So I've been doing it just like a regular appointment. And then I just say, so one more thing we have to do is set up your emergency response system. And I just go through it with them. And then I send them the text on the phone. I have them add my contact card. And then I send them the text to send to the clients. I actually had one client that we set up her ERS. When I called the next day, I called one of the ERSs. She had her ERS ready for me and emailed it to me.
Wow.
So that's awesome.
Have you made any sales yet from those yet? Or
yeah, I mean, like I sold one and then the next sale had the ERS ready to send when I called her.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, so I am following up with, I have about, I would say 28 ERSs right now that I'm about to call that have all gotten the text and should know that.
Oh my gosh. This may be a godsend for us, because I think a lot of times is we end up with a pile of ERSs and we're not necessarily, we work with leads because we have a fiscal investment in that, and we sort of let those go by the wayside. But now that we can work them more efficiently right there from just kind of just go. That's exciting. Thanks for the tip, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got some superstars on your own team, James. And you're one
They inspire me to push harder. Darn them.
As much as I don't want to admit it.
Yeah. So anyone else have questions?
DJ does. Yeah, there's my hotspot buddy, DJ.
Hey, so I was just about to say the ERS things is definitely working. Every sale or every no sale I have, I still get at least 3 to 5.
Wow.
Just letting them know and be like, I know it's on your mind. Just trying to just making sure that financially you're taking care of your family. So these 5 people are going to be there to support your family emotionally. Who would those 5 people be?
And you're working those ERS. Have you had any success with like making an ERS sale yet over the phone?
Yeah, I've actually had quite a bit of referral sales from ERS.
Wow. This is huge. So we need to get y'all on the call. Paul, what was that? You said you sent a text. Could you send me that text that you're sending them, or what is it you say you do? Thank you, DJ.
Yeah. I have a text that I send over to people, and basically it just I'll text it to you, and then I'll put it on our band too, so everybody else has it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Awesome.
Collaboration, masterminds. Mm-hmm.
It really is. I mean, and all jokiness aside, like the way we're working now is just.
Hey, Chris.
You're incredible as a team. Yes, ma'am.
It was 2 people, Leo and somebody else.
Oh, I thought. Okay, go ahead.
It was Leo and a woman. That's why the voice went up.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Leo.
I got to talk with more bass now.
There you go. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. So just for clarification, those phone calls that you're doing are just regular phone calls. They're not like Zoom or FaceTimes.
100% all phone, just phone.
Okay.
It's super. I think that's one of the most duplicatable, because I'm also thinking about this. I want to be able to teach this super easy, and that's one less technology that I have to teach. And so everybody knows how to use the phone, and so when everybody pretty much knows how to use text. So I've just been doing calls, brother.
I'm sure texting the picture with the business card with Courtney on there helps, makes you look more friendly.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
That was the same exact question. But I think the big thing about the text is a text, but like James said, is actually them seeing you, that you're a real person, someone who looks nice. Of course, Courtney helped.
You're ringing right now.
You're handsome too.
I think that's big. Them seeing
Jane. Get back in my little otter pool.
Okay.
You know what sound an otter makes when he's happy? Thank you. Thank you.
Accurate.
For those of you who don't know the animal test, you can ask us. We will send it to you. Chris Long is an extreme otter. He loves people and the adoration and the applause, like Mr. Balick, like Mr. Altador, like Mr. Vantho, like Mr. We have so many otters on our team.
Hey, so guys, just so everybody knows, we're gonna put on the band. We're gonna put everything under the Zoom call today, so that all the tips and tricks are like under the Zoom meeting call, like in the comments. So anybody that's looking for that stuff, that's where they'll be at, and then we can find them pretty easy as well.
Yes.
Awesome.
I do have one more
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
So, this has been really helpful for the Facebook leads. If people are not really at the point where they can invest in the Facebook leads yet, I know people are selling the direct mail leads. So what's kind of your script for selling those?
So it's not a lot different. And I did, if they'll grab that script that I posted, I actually modified it so they can read it. Instead of just like, hey, I see you were on Facebook, I literally just say, hey, I see you had sent a form in. I think I do say something like, hey, I kind of merge it, so it'll kind of go like this. So Sydney or Dane, whoever's unmuted, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Paul.
Yep.
Hey, Paul, this is Chris. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Paul, I'm actually with the Senior Benefits Center for Virginia, and I just wanted to let you know we did receive the form that you had mailed in regarding the state regulated final expense program. You wrote down at the bottom you were 54. Do you remember sending that into our office?
I think I remember.
Okay, let me kind of remind you real quick. I'll read it to you because I know there's a lot of mail and stuff coming right now. It's all it is. It talks about a state regulated program that pays up to $35,000. When you die to your family. And because it's regulated, it's like it's non-medical. It's got some advantages over like some of the other programs that are out there. Does that ring a bell or?
Yeah, I remember that.
You have a couple minutes right now. I just need to kind of ask you some health questions and see if we can get you qualified for one of those programs.
Yeah, I got some time.
That's it. So it's the same, really. I mean, all I'm doing is I kind of do what I've always done at the beginning, and instead of booking an appointment, I just say, do you have a couple minutes right now? And I'm using that word to see if we can get you qualified. Now, I will say, we've had some people that have had some success, like moving it to the next day because it's less like a regular lead. It's got a little more stickiness than like somebody clicking on Facebook. But I'm selling those right there, and I have sold a couple of those already using that technique. So there you go. I hope that helps.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate being your guinea pig test pilot for sharing this new information that you are working through in the trenches. So I hope this encourages everyone to just go out, be a new agent again, and let us learn.
It's an honor. Love y'all's team.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
A lot of my
it.
good friends around your team. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thanks.
Hey, Jane.
Yes.
I had a quick question. I was trying to raise my hand. I couldn't find a button. Kind of ran into this with my first Facebook league. I was asking if he had a smartphone or access to email or laptop, and I was asking if he had an Android. He said he did, but he said no. And I said, you don't have a phone, you can access your email right now? And he was like, oh yeah, I can just use my phone. But what if they don't have a phone or access to like their email?
I just want to say one thing, and I see Paul raising his hand. So older people don't know they have an Android. They don't. I just had a client yesterday, and she had to sign something. And I was like, well, do you have an Android or an iPhone? She's like, I don't have either of those. I was like, are you sure? And she said, let me ask my son. And he said, Mom, you have an Android. She said, I have an Android. I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
if you say Android or iPhone, I feel like a lot of them are not going to know that's what they have. So just as a quick. Okay, go ahead, Paul. I thought you were
So I was
raising your
going to
hand.
say, you could ask them too if they have I was. You can ask them too if they have a flip phone or if they have one you touch the screen on.
Nice.
There you go.
That's a
That
good
would
question.
be good.
And
Yeah.
because they don't know. And then you can write AIG or Great Western without a email address.
Oh, nice.
Great Western level. They do a voice signature.
What?
I did that.
What about AIG?
Great Western.
I don't know how that one works, so I don't like them, but I think you can do the same thing. I think it's a voice signature.
Yeah. I would assume if they have a flip phone like the Obama phones, they probably have a Direct Express card anyways, so probably going to do Great Western. So there you go. Does anyone else have feedback on that? Sydney, is that an iguana in your office?
It's a
Is that
bearded
one
dragon.
alive?
Florida.
It's Beatrice.
She's on the camera.
Look at her nails. They're red.
Shout out.
Is this a lie?
It's real.
It's real.
Get over there.
You guys are ridiculous. Does anyone else have a comment on the phone thing or the email?
They're
All right,
laughing
awesome.
here.
I mean, Jane,
Yes.
yes, Miles does. Okay, while we're on it, okay, AIG, I thought they only take credit cards and the Direct Express is a debit card.
No, they take any credit or debit.
Okay, and then, same thing with AIG, whenever I'm filling out the app, their email address is a required field before I even get to the signature.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why I write Great Western.
So we don't know if you can do AIG without an email.
Yeah. I just
Without a what?
Email address.
Oh, no, you have to have an email for AIG. You
That's
have
So-
to. If you're doing a
They have
credit
an
or
email
debit
through
card,
the-
they have to have an email. You can
They
still
did
do
a
a voice
Facebook link.
signature. Yeah. Mhm.
So with AIG guys, I usually ask if their beneficiary has an email address, and they just send it to the beneficiary.
There you go.
That is not publicly okay, just so you know.
All right.
Scratch from the record.
Yeah, scratch from
Well, with
the
the voice signature, of course, guys.
Yeah, with the voice signature. Good job. Good job. Teamwork. Okay. But AIG does take credit or debit cards, but you do need an email address. All right. Any other questions? You guys are so funny. This is literally, I was like, don't wait until Chris Long gets off the call to ask your question.
It was
Jamie
Jamie's
Harris.
fault.
He was trying.
All right.
Everyone stayed on except Chris Long.
Because we said we're ending the call, kids. All right. Okay, we are ending the call. I am ending the recording. We love you guys. Stay safe. Bye.
All right, there we go. Bye.
Bye, guys.